Alex. I have an Instagram and also a YouTube Love Sugar show. So I want to thank you for taking your time for doing this interview. Of
Thank you. I want to thank you for doing it.
course. So the first question that I ask anyone that I ever interview is, how's everything going in your world? Not just musically, but also personal life as well, because that's really important too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everything's as well as it can be. Uh, Nothing really to complain about.
That's a good thing, right? Better than
Yeah,
everything's burning down.
yeah. How about it? Yeah.
Well, awesome. So I want to talk about the music and, kind of dig into it.
All
Um,
right, let's do it.
For someone who hasn't heard the music, the album, how would you describe it to them?
Um, it's like a hardcore metal crossover. I would say for fans of In Flames, Kill Switch Engage, Hatebreed, it's kind of like a mashup of that. Um, Lyrically dealing with life struggles and how to make yourself better and pick yourself up. Um, Pretty aggressive in your face style music.
And for the album, like when it was created, what's kind of like the creative process? Like, what does every band member play? What role does everyone play? How does it kind of like come together?
Well, at our guitars, Chris is our guitarist. Travis is our singer, and Travis is our bass player. Of course, I am the drummer, and we all come from different backgrounds. Um, Musically, I would say, well, Chris, Ed, and myself have been together in bands since like 2000, so we mesh really well, and our backgrounds are very similar musically. But the other two, both Travis's, they're very influenced by death metal and new metal, and so when you get all that together, it just there's a lot more. It doesn't get so one dimensional, so to speak. So the writing process on that went uh, went really well, and it was just neat for things to unfold.
And how does it kind of like start? Does it start with like an emotion, an idea, a riff? Like, how does it like all come to be?
Usually, our guitarist Chris will come to practice and hey, I worked on this, check it out, and he'll play something, and we all keep adding to it. And while we're adding to it, Travis is just writing. He's got things written down, or he'll start writing things down, and
Hmm.
he'll see what fits, and then I mean, he is really good at it because once the song is finished, he's got you know a lot of it lyrically already done, and of course, the next couple practices, we're all just fine tuning, and the song's finished.
Awesome. Did you have like any struggles or any like difficulties writing this, or was it pretty smooth?
It was actually pretty smooth. Like the recording process was a nightmare. Maybe
Oh
that's a good
no.
title. the the album's named Nightmare, so maybe that's a good thing. But that's that's a whole another story. But as far as the songs, like I mean, we can put songs out pretty quick, and it was fun, and nothing was stressful.
Well, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So kind of like thinking back over the creation process, what was like your favorite part of the album creation?
Uh, really just getting together and practicing and writing the songs. That whole thing is just cool. Just, us guys, us friends getting together and, you know, starting something from nothing and then getting the end product. Uh, that's always like been the funnest part for me.
And have you guys like been together for a while, like known each other for a while, or was it like original members and then people got added in?
Our singer Travis, the band started in 2020, COVID band.
Oh, nice.
So us other four knew each other for years and years. We're local within a mile from each other, a couple of miles, whatever.
Mhm.
Travis, he was brought up. to our attention that like you should try him out for singing, and he was in other bands, and you know so we tried him out. He came in, and it just worked, and it was great.
And did you guys kind of like all click at once, or was it like a, you
Yeah, definitely.
that's awesome.
No, yeah, it was like where you been all my life kind of thing.
It's funny how some people just meet and they instantly click, and then other people they take a little bit more time.
Yeah, it's really hard because everybody's individuality and has their own agendas or whatever, and it's hard to get the right people
Hmm.
like all on the same brainwave and like all mash up, and it just happened. It was great. Like we're all pretty much the same on that level.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then for themes, what themes were you wanting to explore? Were there any themes that you wanted to explore that you didn't quite get into this album, or
As far as themes like
emotional themes, like hope, belief, any sort of theme like that?
Travis, like this band has always been like lyrically, like I said, he writes about picking yourself up, and making yourself stronger and a better person and things like that. And that's always been like the whole push of this band. The themes of uh, like, depression or anxieties and things of that nature, mental health and uh,
Hmm.
things like that. So, I mean, if you get the album, read the lyrics, and we have a lyric video, you can kind of get some some ideas of where that the directions of those songs go.
And was it like intentional to, I guess, write about these kind of like really deep emotions, or is that something that just kind of happened during the process, or?
No, and I'm speaking for him. So he would have songs already written, and if it didn't fit the mood of the song or the emotion of the song, then he wouldn't, he would omit those lyrics and see if he could fit in others. Or, like I said, a lot of the times as we're writing songs, he already has like a think tank back there with like feeling the emotion as the song's playing, and he's writing things down, and so
Mhm.
that's how he goes about that.
And do you think like in the metal scene that like, these deep emotions, these, real things that a lot of people suffer with, do you think it's important to, talk about it and kind of like put it in the
Well,
front?
it's a stigma with, I think, anything, and the whole generalization of life. And yeah, I mean, a lot of songs are, about beating people up or whatever the hell else people write about. I mean, uh, you can, like, over the years and listening to bands, you can get their messages on things, and some are different than others, but I think it's definitely something that needs to be talked about. And like before our songs or after our songs, during live sets, like he'll have a
Mhm.
little spoken word and stuff like that. So it goes a long way because I guarantee there's always someone in the crowd that's like, man, I've been feeling that, and things like that.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's definitely a big thing to talk about because a lot of people kind of just suffer in silence, and music is like, the thing that helps get them through it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, writing this album, I have to ask, what was like the hardest thing for you, like hardest song or the hardest thing for you to get over?
Um, hmm. I mean, it came pretty fluidly, and I think that's because um, minus Travis, our singer, we've all been together for many years in different bands at different capacities, and
Hmm.
it just came so fluidly. I I wouldn't say anything was a hurdle or anything to get hung up on. I think maybe like any other band, you go through a little writer's block.
Yeah.
So we would keep practicing a song and be like, nah, that doesn't fit. And then we put something else in, something else, and something else. And it just snowball effect that like
Hmm.
we would get frustrated that, man, none of those things fit, only to realize back at the very beginning that did fit. And we would
Yeah.
just revisit it. It's just, I mean, it's just something that happens.
And how long did the album take to write from like beginning to end?
I mean, to write, oh, it, I mean, it wasn't long. I mean, 6 months maybe, but to record, like I said, that was a nightmare. That was like a year and a half. It
Oh,
was
wow.
just, it was just time restraints, and it was just a whole thing with the, the project manager, the recorder and things
Mm,
like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's not like, oh, this has to be out by such and such date. It's more of
right.
us on ourselves, like, man, look at this damn thing out. It's not like we have the masses just waiting for it to be released. So it was, you know, at the end of the day, it was fine when it was.
So I have to ask, I know the title is called Nightmare. Did you name it that because of the recording process, or are those two things completely unrelated?
It's unrelated, and it's funny because after the fact, um, our singer was like, "Man, that's a great name for the album because this was a nightmare." But it was already named that before the fact. We were coming up with what should we name the album and things like that. And we have a song named Nightmare, and we just thought um, it, it just fit. Um, Things going on in today's world, things going on in your brain, mental health and stuff like that. It's just like, man, this is a damn nightmare. And, you know, it's not like it just seemed to fit.
And what does nightmare mean to you personally?
Well, it can mean it's one of those kind of, I feel, play on words as far as like it's going to be different almost for everybody else.
Hmm.
And uh, for me, nightmare could be something that you can't control, something that is, just out of reach and so horrible, and you just can't control it. It could, it's just, it's really hard. But like I said, it would be something that would definitely an individualized word.
For sure.
Yeah.
And like you said, everyone has like a different interpretation. So I was just curious, like, what your interpretation of that is, if it was like
Mine,
that recording process.
yeah. I mean, after the fact, yeah, for sure. Me personally, um, lack of control of something that would mean so much to you that you keep pushing for, and it's just out of reach, and it's just chaos. And like
Yeah.
for me, that's a nightmare. And of course, like later on in life, you get health scares and things like that. Those are nightmares. And growing up, if you were abused, that could be a nightmare. But for me, it's just like the lack of control when you try so hard for something and it's just
Hmm.
out of reach.
And with this album, what song would you say is like the heart of the album that really just kind of pulls it all together?
Um, Fade and Nightmare, those two songs are definitely, I would say those are definitely the ones that pull it together.
And why those two?
Those two, so Chris was in a band with me and Ed back in the early 2000s, Final Stand, and then Forever Means Goodbye. And he came in this band when we let our one guitarist go, Brad, back 2 years ago. So when Chris came in, his writing style is in vein of like a In Flames, Kill Switch Engage type. So
Hmm.
when we started writing those new songs with him, they became more like melodic and emotional. So I would say that's what draws this album together because those were one of the two first songs that he wrote that are on this album.
Awesome. And would you say like one of those two songs would be the best song that you would want someone to listen to first, like if they never heard the album?
Yeah, absolutely. They give more the feel of the band because so there's 8 songs on a CD, and there's almost like 4 or 5 different representations of like metal. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? It's not like you listen to one song and they all sound very similar. Um, but yeah, those would be the 2 songs that would kind of represent us best. We do have a
Hmm.
as far as anything online, um, Nightmare, we do have a lyric video for that, and that's on Spotify.
Awesome.
Yep.
And for this album, I know especially nowadays it feels like attention spans of people aren't really like the
Oh
longest.
my God, it's miserable.
So I'm curious, was this album designed like and put together in a way where it's like it should be listened to from beginning to end, or is it one of these where you can just like pick and choose what you want to listen to and, listen to it that way?
Yeah, it's definitely not designed for a beginning to end because, well, again, attention spans. I don't know if very many people could do that, but it's not like a book kind of thing. It's just you can pick and choose what you want to listen to. The tracks were laid out to be like come in heavy, leave pretty heavy, and little
Hmm.
emotion in the middle. But it wasn't anything that was to be like in succession.
And when people are listening to this album, what do you think it would be like a good soundtrack for like, running, washing clothes, doing chores, going to the gym?
Oh, probably Final Stand. Those are definitely different actions. So, like as far as like going to the gym and running and stuff like that, probably the song Final Stand. It's a more of a like a in your face, faster speed.
So good for you to get that heart rate up.
Yeah, and probably get your anger up too, maybe.
I mean, sometimes you need that. I mean, I feel like sometimes when you're, in a bad mood, like you need those really angry songs because it feels like it understands and it makes you feel better for some reason.
Any song, songs draw out emotion, so it's so many different genres and so much music out there, and people are so different that you know you could get 100 different emotions from the same song.
True. When you like put emotion in your music, what emotions are you putting into this album?
Me personally, to me, it's all just fun. Like I just like hanging with the guys and just like, making memories and having fun with it. Um, I always want something that's, hard and fast and driven. So I don't know. That,
Just
that
fun
that's just yeah, that's just
vibes.
yeah.
So, as a band, what moods or feelings were you trying to capture and put into this album?
Um, Definitely, be kind to each other, kind of things, be respectful. The whole mental health, the awareness of it. Like those are like the perspectives that we be the voice for the smaller guy, you know what I mean? Like we have shows that we have a song called Less Than Perfect, and locally it has become like almost like a chant, like when we play shows, like a lot of people
Hmm.
will sing along to that end part of Less Than Perfect. And it's just one of those songs that, like, yeah, we all are less than perfect, but it's kind of like how you build yourself up.
Yeah, that's really cool, actually. Is it like a song that you play like alive a lot, or is it just like a song that?
That that's one of the first few songs we wrote when we became a band in 2020 that we have kept all this time. Like, all the other most of the others we don't play anymore, but that's one of the
Mhm.
ones that um that we play out all the time. It's not on this album, it was on the last one, but we still play it out all the time. And that's
Mhm.
Spotify and everywhere that people can listen to.
So it sounds like it's a fan favorite as well.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. And from the last, like looking at the last album versus this one, what did you try new? Like, what did you change in this one from the previous?
This one's a lot different because the last one had our uh, old guitarist Brad, who had left the band, and Chris came in. So it was a total changeover as far as you know, the lyrically and emotions was always there, but the music was more in line of like, I want to say like crowbar, clutch, mashup. I don't know any other way to put it. And then it went into like more of a metal and more of a like harmonizing tones and things like that. So it was a big change, two total different albums, even though there's one different player.
Emotionally for you, do you feel any difference between the last album and this one, like at all, or is it just like still just fun vibes?
Well, it's still just fun vibes, but when I listen to this one versus the last one, this one gives me more, I want to say chills, because it's more in tune with what we all like musically and what it just has a good vibe and good flow the whole way through. Like I said, last one was there might have been 8 songs on it, but there were like it started getting, I don't want to say boring, but it started getting like repetitive as far as like tones and songs like that. And it was just like it was all right, but it's just not like this one where it's like, man, every song is different.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing though, because people have more to choose from. So if you don't like one song, just skip it. You might not like the next one or the next one after that.
Yeah, and they're good because they're all mostly like 2 or 3 minutes tops, so short and sweet.
That attention span.
Yeah.
So just curious, what's next for the band? Like what's happens after this album?
Well, lucky for us that or maybe me, or maybe they say this too, because we're all similar and we're all older, that we're not in this to like, go out and tour the world or anything like that. So we both have an understanding for that. So just
Mhm.
play some shows, few shows here and there, put things out, maybe another EP, and just have fun with it, really. I mean, this is a hobby and it's fun. Like the
Yeah.
past bands with the other guys was more of like, well, one, we were younger, and two, like, we did a lot of touring, and, so that was more of like, um, more business oriented that,
Mhm.
oh, wow, we're doing things with this, and you just keep going with it.
I mean, to be fair, touring the world sounds amazing, but it sounds exhausting too. So,
Oh my God. Yeah. I couldn't do it now. No way. My 20s is one thing, but now, no way.
yeah, I'm
We
ready.
have families and kids and stuff like that now, so there's
Yeah.
different responsibilities.
So, just kind of a fun question with this album. If you had to choose three emojis to describe this album, which three would you choose?
Oh, geez. Well, I'd have to go with the eggplant, just because that's a fun one, right? Uh, I don't know. Smiley face, big open eyes, and the horns.
So there's so many different emojis. I think they just
Oh my God. Like when I look for like my fiance or friend, whatever, and they say something and you go to the emoji thing that you hit, and it's like you're scrolling down to find like a throw up one or whatever, and it's just like, oh my God, there's like 1,000 of these.
yeah, I'm pretty sure they just added a bunch of them because I was scrolling the other day and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna find the one I
They
want.
just upped your game, man. Holy hell.
Well, awesome. I will let you let the listeners know when this comes out, where they can get a copy of it, and where they can keep up to date with the band.
All right. So Endbringer on Spotify, we're on Bandcamp, Instagram, Facebook. I always tell people the easiest thing is to go to the upstagemusicfest.com, and on there is Gray Matter Records. And not only that, but Endbringer is on there, plus all the bands that are on Gray Matter Records. And you can buy it on there and listen to it on there. So instead of like, sometimes when you say, you can find us on socials and people start spitting out socials and people are like, wait, which one do I go to? Just go to the upstagemusicfest.com. That's all you need to know.
Makes it really easy then, right?
Yep, it's a one-stop shop.
And I'll leave all the links to everything below so you guys don't have to go crazy trying to find all this stuff. It'll be provided for you. And I listened to it. I really enjoyed it. I also like all the bands that you mentioned that, kind of inspired it. So I definitely think anyone watching this should definitely take a listen. I think there's going to be something in there for everyone.
Thanks. I really appreciate your time for doing this interview and everything. And I appreciate what you do. I took a minute out and I was like um scrolling through your videos and stuff, and I was like, wow, you're like doing rock bands, you're doing heavy bands, you're doing like you have a very big mix. You're not so one dimensional, and
Yeah,
that speaks a lot to a person because it shows that whether it's art or music, like you're open minded, and that's such a huge thing. Like everybody should be open minded.